What if I told you a coin worth only 5 cents could actually change your life? This small piece of metal might be sitting in your pocket, right now completely unnoticed yet worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Most people spend it without a second thought, but collectors are paying a fortune for it. This is not just a coin. This is a hidden story from 1963 that very few people understand. One tiny detail on this nickel can turn it from ordinary change into a rare collectible, worth serious money. So before you ignore your old coins, watch this video till the end, because you might already be holding a treasure. Welcome back to the channel Coin Vault USA, where we uncover hidden stories behind the world's most ordinary objects and turn them into extraordinary discoveries. If you are passionate about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the untold history behind everyday items, then you are exactly where you need to be. Because today, we are not just looking at a coin. We are stepping into a journey that begins with ideas, travels through time, crosses generations, and quietly survives inside something most people would never even notice. So before you move on, take a moment, because what you are about to discover might already be sitting somewhere in your home, maybe inside an old drawer, maybe hidden in a forgotten box, or maybe resting quietly in your pocket right now. This is the 1963 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that looks simple, feels ordinary, and yet carries a story far greater than its size. At first glance, it is nothing more than a 5-cent coin. But the moment you slow down and really look at it, you begin to realize this is not just currency. This is history, preserved in metal. And to truly understand it, we must go far beyond its surface. We must go back, not just to the year printed on it, but to the ideas that gave it meaning, to the man whose presence still lives through this coin, Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson was not simply a leader remembered by history. He was a thinker who believed that ideas could shape the destiny of nations. He lived in a world dominated by kings and empires, where power was inherited and rarely questioned. But he imagined something different. He imagined a system where people could govern themselves, where knowledge was not restricted, but shared, where liberty was not granted, but recognized as a natural right. When he wrote the Declaration of Independence, he wasn't just creating a document. He was creating a foundation that would influence not just one nation, but inspire ideas across the world. And that is why his face appears on this coin. Because this coin is not just about money. It is about memory. It is about reminding every person who holds it that a nation can be built on thought, not just power. Now slowly turn the coin in your mind. On the reverse side, you see something calm, balanced, almost silent. This is Monticello, Jefferson's home. But more than a home, it is a reflection of his mind. He designed it himself, refined it again and again, searching for harmony in every detail. To him, architecture was more than construction. It was expression, balance, proportion, symmetry. These were not just visual elements. They were principles that reflected how he believed a society should function. And when Monticello was placed on this coin, it transformed the coin into something more than currency. It became a message. A philosophy? A piece of thought cast into metal. Now look beyond the images and focus on the words engraved into the surface. In God we trust. Liberty, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. These words are not random. They are identity. They are the voice of a nation compressed into a few powerful phrases. Every time this coin moves, from one hand to another, it carries those words with it, quietly, endlessly, across time. Now step forward into the year 1963, a year that stands quietly at the edge of transformation. The world was shifting. Economies were evolving. Societies were beginning to question old systems. And in the United States, even coins were about to change. Just 2 years later, in 1965, silver would be removed from circulating coins, marking the end of an era. But this coin, this nickel, exists just before that shift. It belongs to a moment suspended between tradition and change, a silent witness to history. Now imagine the place where this coin was born. The Denver Mint, a place filled with motion, precision, and energy. Machines striking metal with incredible force. Blank pieces of alloy being transformed into objects of identity. In 1963, More than 276 million of these coins were produced, an overwhelming number, enough to make anyone believe that this coin is common. And in many ways, it is. But hidden within those millions are differences, subtle, almost invisible, but incredibly important. Because perfection is never evenly distributed. Some coins were struck with extraordinary clarity, sharp lines, crisp details, surfaces that remained untouched by time. Others developed imperfections, tiny errors, slight misalignments, variations so small that most people would never notice them. But in the world of collecting, these are not flaws, they are signatures. They are what transform a coin from ordinary into something extraordinary. A slight doubling in the letters, a shift in alignment, a detail that appears just a little different from the rest. These are the marks of uniqueness, proof that this coin is not just one of millions, but something rare. And this is where value begins to change. Because value is not just about metal. It is not just about age. It is about rarity. It is about survival. It is about the journey something takes through time. Think about how many hands this coin has passed through. A busy shop in the 1960s. A child exchanging it for candy. A collector searching carefully through rolls of coins. A family storing it away for years without realizing its significance. Each moment, each exchange, adds another layer to its story. And yet, despite all of this, most people will never see it. To them, it remains just 5 cents, just another coin, just another object. But to someone who understands, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes a connection, a bridge between past and present, a physical link to history, something you can actually hold. And this is where the story deepens even further, because not all value is visible. Some of it is hidden in details, details that require patience, attention, and understanding. Collectors often spend years studying coins like this, looking for differences, comparing details, analyzing surfaces, because sometimes the smallest detail can change everything. A coin that looks ordinary can suddenly become rare. A piece of metal worth 5 cents can turn into something worth hundreds or even thousands. And yet, the coin itself does not change. Only the way we see it does. And that is the real secret. Because the true value of this coin is not just in what it is made of, but in what it represents. It represents ideas that shaped a nation. It represents a moment in history that marked change. It represents the journey of something small, surviving through time. So the next time you find a coin like this, do not rush to spend it. Do not ignore it. Pause for a moment. Look closer. Because hidden within that small piece of metal is a story waiting to be discovered. A story of ideas, identity, history, and time. And maybe, just maybe, that small coin in your hand is worth far more than you ever imagined.